Well, you're welcome back to Gmodism. We're here in this beautiful little armored cockpit, which it's not a cockpit, it's just a box for storing rambots. They're pretty useless, so why just not store them? In any case, this is a build from Danny 1722, and this is the Harragnor. I don't know what this means, because my Old North and English dictionary is from English to Old Norse and not the other way around. So I don't know, maybe it means something. When I googled it, it just came up some ships from some other games. Anyways, it's a cool name. Harragnor sounds Old Norse, I don't know if it is. Bridge outside the ship. Now this ship is a little bit different than many other ships. I do highly appreciate these interiors here. It's pretty cool. Getting a little bit burned here. Okay. So here we have the little bridge. As you may or may not notice, this is a ship that's, well, a ship, an airship, not a naval ship. Which is a little bit unusual. Are you kidding me? Do you only need 1 square meter? I thought you need 2 square meters for ladders. Okay, well, you learn new things every day. So this is an airship that is an official submission to beat the Gimle. We will of course check it out that it meets the rules a little bit quickly. And if you want to do that, because it was some time I did do this, I can just show you a little bit quickly using this ship. So we have a block counter, and that means we can sort them by name. And if we sort them by name, we can go down and check one of the requirements here. I can just show you. We'll just see repair bots. It doesn't have any. Well, you can have 2, but it doesn't have any. So that's for example. And some of you also asked me in an earlier video. I know I already responded to you about that. Excuse me, but whoops. What is this? Ew. It auto drops buoys. I don't know how to pronounce that. But in any case, I already answered some of you this thing, but you wondered how we do the cutaway menu. You go into build mode, worse in build mode, and you click end. And on end, you have the left-right cutter. And just cut above, cut below, whatever. And you can just... and remember, you can resize the menus if you think it's in the way. You can just check what it has, what it's about. So for the Gimle battles, you could have had airships, as you probably know, with some certain rules for that. So this is our first airship, and it's an official submission too. So that will be really cool. We can check the blocks here, not too many blocks either. Meets their cost requirements. Seems to be absolutely a-okay. So we're gonna put the Harragnor to battle with the Gimle using our rules. And for all the battles, I have maximum quality usually, but for all the battles I go to boost my performance, so literally the lowest ones. So yeah, it's like, that's why it, but it looks kind of the same from long distance, but if I don't do this, I don't get nice FPS. But what you do if you want to have battles like this, just click boost my performance, then you click use recommended light settings. I sometimes actually increase the ambient light a little bit. Then if you want nice colors, just enable color post process and it looks a tiny little bit nicer. Alright. So when you're having a custom battle, you of course goes to the custom battle, and what I usually do is I have loaded presets. So I have loaded AOG Gimle battle open, and for those we have they spawn 3,000 meters apart. You get 500,000 materials per team, and we have a 0.05 salvage per materials destroyed. The rules are like this. Use maximum altitude of 600, minimum altitude of -30, so that we don't have subs. But you know, some ships may go low. I think the altitude depends on where the AI is. So if you have an AI really high up and you have a ship that goes pretty low, that's why we have some playroom with 30 meters. Then we have use maximum distance, 6,000 meters, which I actually think is a little bit too long. After having the battle with a certain ship that was going out very far. Won't spoil anything if you haven't seen the episodes. But well, anyways, these are kind of the rules we have. We have some penalty points going on there. Maximum distance. Should probably, I don't know. But these are the rules. I'm not gonna change the rules, of course, by now. 900 seconds is 15 minutes, which is the time limit, which we have enabled. So yeah, that's kind of the rules if you didn't know that. So let's get this started. Another way you should know is that you see we have tiles east and north that I have selected. And that is because if you leave them at 0, 0, you will spawn at the edge of the map and it looks super stupid. It's like you see the end of the world. It just looked really shit. So put this number somewhere in the middle if you're setting up battles yourself. So this became a tiny tutorial, but oh, I just remembered we need to spawn this airship at an altitude. Never mind. So there we go, altitude, 200 it is. And now we can start. So what I usually do when I start battles, you can see here, we need to let things load in a little bit. And I'll just click on pause for like half a second to make sure that the ships are kind of ready. There we go. And at this point, I usually start the actual, like, recording with presenting the ships and stuff. So that's a tiny little tutorial if you want to make some custom battles yourself, and you need to unpause it for just like 1 second, and then you can kind of check out the ships so that, you know, the decorations and stuff load in. Well, that's basically that, a little tutorial on setting up the battles and checking out the ships before them and see if they adhere to the rules and all that stuff. But anyways, let's go. Danny 1722 Harragnor versus the Gimle. Let's go. Oh my god. Best of 3. We're firing shots here. Bam! We are penetrating! I should be lucky. Look at that. Our decoys are going towards what? Exactly. Oh my lords! Was that a hit? The Gimle is not in the lead here. Oh my god, that's scary for the Harragnor. It's dropping blocks. It's shooting missiles. Those missiles ain't got much health, boy. If Danny's Harragnor is going to be a little bit smart, it's gonna get on the other side of the Gimle. This is like the only advantage, I think, with airships, is to go to a side where the Gimle has problem shooting, because that's something that will need fixing. I'll most likely update the Gimle, but I want to, of course, not change a tiny bit until all battles are recorded with things that want to send in against the Gimle, because it wouldn't be fair to update the Gimle on the fly. So maybe we'll do a Mark 2. Are you kidding me? Okay, the Harragnor does not have evasion, so the mortars actually hit. The mortars actually hit. Are you kidding me? That's cool. That's cool. The interceptors are having trouble to get out there in time. The Harragnor is down to 89%. So it's just dropping blocks. I don't see it firing much. It's like it's trying to laze the Gimle, but I don't know how well it's doing that. It seems to not have any type of evasion, which is a little bit problematic. It's very good for the Gimle that it has flak diff sieves, because when we fire a flak rod in the close proximity of those missiles, both of them take damage. Alright. We can see mortars are popping down there. Oh, damn. You know what? I think the Harragnor needs some evasion. It could easily go to side by side or up and down when we're having incoming cram shells here, because now it looks like the Harragnor is sinking on the first battle. The Gimle hasn't really been scratched. We're gonna check that out a little bit more, of course, but as you can see, this thing for the first battle ain't looking very good. It has some pretty scary sabots. I do think it can be lucky, especially from the front / above. The Gimle has some weaknesses when it comes to that a lucky shot can snipe the AI. We can see we got a hole here. This turret is wrecked, so it has done something. But as you can see, the Harragnor is trying to submarine and thus gaining penalty points. You can see we have some really penetrating stuff here, but... well... well, we're trying to aim there. There we go, the Harragnor is DQ'd. So, let's just have a quick damage assessment of the Gimle. We can see that nothing had a lucky shot on the AI. You can see if you shoot, if you kind of, in the start of the battle, if you shoot like this a little bit from above, right down here, you'll just crit the AI, no problem at all. But that's of course extremely lucky. I think most ships have a similar problem that you can like crit them like that if you're lucky. Well, in any case, I suppose that's that. So let's move on to the next battle. Round 2, let's go. We're firing everything there. Missiles popping along. Railguns railing. Ooh! These lambs ain't no joke, man. But I think they are a lot of storage lambs, so I think they can take out the first crams pretty easily. And after a while, yeah, you can see they start to leak through. And and when they start to leak through, the Harragnor is real sad because, well, obvious reasons. I think the Harragnor would have gained a lot on getting closer. Probably. Whoa. I didn't see. I didn't notice. It just looked like the Harragnor was shooting a cram. Was that a bounce back or something? Well, it's taking a lot of cram, that's for sure. We're dropping railgun parts here. When it starts to bleed APS, it's usually a bad sign. I do think we are going to have a similar end to the second battle as well, which means that the Gimle will most likely very much win this best of 3. Look at that, crams keep popping in. Those crams are no joke. That's for sure. And it doesn't help, it's lazing a bit too. Especially ships that don't have much to distract the Gimle's lambs with something. That means the laser will deal full damage. So, and that's of course bad times for anyone, because these lasers, they're pretty big. Well. It's sinking, caught penalty points and stuff like that. Let's just check a little quick damage assessment. AI is untouched. It seems that the Harragnor has not been having a chance against the Gimle. But I will say this, I think is really brave of Danny of sending in this ship, which is untested and stuff, because I know some people, won't name names, who have built like, I don't know, a lot of different ships, to try and beat the Gimle has done private testings, and they were unable to beat the Gimle, so said person don't want to send them in. Actually, there are 2 persons like this, as I know. I think there are more. But in any case, many people want to beat the Gimle. They build ships and try to beat it, don't beat it, and they don't send the ships in. Instead, Danny 1722, I believe, built the ship, tried to beat the Gimle, didn't test it against the Gimle, so Danny didn't know, probably, if this was gonna beat the Gimle or not, and sent it in for public trial. And I will say that courage deserves an applaud. Thank you. But in any case, the results is these, that Danny was not able to beat the Gimle with the Harragnor. So, the Gimle wins this little battle as well. And with that, we will say AOG Invictus. See you next week. Yes. Bye.